Hello, everybody. My name is Lenora Hall. I am in digital marketing, doing terms and use for Full Sail University. In this presentation, I will be evaluating price terms and condition. Priceline is a company based in America, a third party that sells travel related services such as lodging, airfares, and automobile rentals at the supplier bargain. Priceline does not supply these services itself, but rather serves as a hub of other related providers offering discounts for services such as services. Section A, arbitration and dispute resolution. This passage begins with the coverage disputes and arbitration in summaries. This section gets right to the point of how Priceline will rectify any lawsuits against them. The text asks the users to give Priceline the opportunity to resolve any problem they may amass that and that they are bound to the laws and provision of the state of Connecticut, where their headquarters are located. The passage reveals that there is a statute of limitation and that their users has up to 2 years from services to dispute. Additionally, all claims are to be made as small claim courts, and Priceline is protected against any class action lawsuit. B. Section B, disclaimer of warranties. This section protects the site from liabilities from the deformities and the services its earning suppliers provide. Section H, no agency relationship. Priceline does not agree to act as the user's agent or fiduciary. In other words, the Priceline company doesn't hold any moral or personal obligation to the user. Section I, minor, anyone under 18 of age are not permitted to use this site. Section C, general limitations of liability. There is a statute of limitation to filing a claim. The user has up to 2 years from the date of the initial service to file a claim against Priceline. And are there any changes that I would recommend? As in most of these big company contracts, they're pretty much covered all the bases here. Therefore, from my layman point of view, honestly don't have any further recommendation. I believe that the Priceline has covered all applicable areas of concerns regarding their ban and the services they provide. Now, Section C, general limitations of liability. Because Priceline has arrangements with third party vendors just to supply services to their users, it can pose as a liability of said third party, 30 parties to fall short in providing the services in any way. This section protects the site from any damages occurring to the user by the third party participant. Now, Section D. This is in I'm sorry, indemnification and charges backs. Basically, this section states that the user will define Priceline and their suppliers or third parties if there were a case brought against them as a direct result of the user's breach of contract to this agreement, specifically to the above section, general limitation of liability. Now, Section F, claims of copyright infringement. This section deals with Priceline's intellectual property. Basically, all information on the site, such as images, videos, music, logos, are property of Priceline and unauthorized use. As said, data is subject to U.S. Copyright Act of 1976. Now, Section D, acceptable use and license. This section essentially expresses that the user stands to use the site for its intended purposes and nothing outside of that. Furthermore, asks the user to be diligent and report inappropriate use, slander, or liable of the site. Section 2, account security and password. This section states that upon registration with the site, the user's personal information is obtained and it's up to the user to keep the information up to date and secure. Basically, it's not Priceline's fault if you give out or not properly store your account information and someone then uses it. Section E, copyright, the trademark notice. This section deals with Priceline trademarks such as the name of your price, Express Deals, Priceline Negotiator. It asserts that these trademarks are not to be construed as an endorsement or sponsorship of the Priceline site. Now, is it a valid contract? Yes. Forms like terms of service are covered on legal grounds and hold up in court. When you agree or comply with the agreement, it is viewed as a legal bound contract. Terms of services are terms and conditions to which of the users must first consent prior to the use or purchase of a site service, purchase of goods, access to a web app, or access to membership registration based site. Upon properly acceptance by the user, the terms of service become a legally binding contract. Proper presentation and acceptance, though, is one of the keys to enforceability. And you can check out more information on www.pactsafe.com, pactsafe.com. Okay, second question. Are visitors bound to it or should they have to click I agree? They are not bound, and there should be an I agree option as we incorporate technology further into our live application and confirmation. Like an I agree button is deemed legally binding and can be seen as a mean of confirmation. Courts are now regularly enforcing so-called click wrap agreements where a user's assist to the terms and condition posted on the website is rendered by clicking on the button that says I agree or yes. When these agreements are upheld, users are deemed bound by the terms in the same way that they would be bound by a signed contract, whether or not they actually read the agreement, so long as there was inadequate, whether or not actual, okay, sorry, adequate opportunity to do so. Requiring the user to expressly agree or disagree with the terms and conditions posted on the website goes a long way to ensuring that the enforceable contract was created. Whether posted terms and conditions that do not require the users to click on the I agree button can create an enforceable contract is less certain. And you can find that more information about that at www.americanbar.org. The third question, if you have a dispute with Priceline, can you sue them? Why or why not? The answer can be yes. It really depends on what the dispute is founded on and the lengths you want to go to form a lawsuit. The way in which you can go about this action is tangled into the terms and conditions. When approaching this legally, you're under the jurisdiction of Connecticut, and that's something to be taken into account for. If this dispute is based on a breach of agreement on Priceline's side, then of course if it's a general disagreement and feud, it's not possible as the terms and conditions give them a legal priority. Providing waivers use boilerplate language that is supposed to cover all lawsuits and believe that it means that a person injured while engaged in the activity offered by the business cannot sue them. While signing a waiver does not mean the injured person cannot sue, it also weakens an injured person's claim. In some cases, can lead to the case being dismissed. You can find more information at www.booneandavis law.com, which is booneanddavislaw.com. Overall, the reason you can sue is simply you can't state that the individual can't make legal actions in these circumstances. Now, the final last question, what changes would you recommend? So, what changes would I recommend? When researching a price line, you'll undoubtedly come across some unhappy customers with claims of hatred for the company and some going as far as wanting to take legal action. The problem partially stems with the terms and condition. Priceline does a good job of protecting themselves in a shielded term of use. The the term and condition should be listed with a check mark or another symbol of confirmation. Putting the system in place may help the consumer realize how much of this agreement they need to look at instead of roaming to the parts of the site only to be disappointed for lack of not acknowledgement for the terms. A Deloitte survey of 2,000 consumers in the U.S. found that 91% of people consent to legal terms and services conditions without reading them. For younger people ages 18 and 34, the rate is even higher, with 97% agreement to conditions there before reading. You can go to www.businessinsider.com. And I just want to say thank you for listening to my term and use agreement, and you have a wonderful day.